What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel. Welcome back to my personal favorite show, Dudes Who Bet Daily. I don't know about the other two guys, but it is my personal favorite. Before we get going, Koufax Magic, you're the big winner. You were flexing and you deserved it. What are your thoughts on Koufax at Delta last night?
Listen, it was a complete game no-hitter. It was kind of what we were hoping to see from our star pitcher, and he got a little dicey. He had a couple runners on base there in the ninth that were starting to threaten, and he dug in. He had that steely look in his eyes, and he threw that last pitch, and he got the job done. So, Koufax was great. The price was fantastic. Love it. Got a few people already have reached out saying thank you or congrats. Thank you guys for supporting me and playing it. We also had if you go back to watch Friday race 4 at Sunland Park, I bet the 1, and that was a roller coaster because he was a speed horse who spotted the field 6 lengths because he blew the brake and caught them right at the wire. So it was a very exciting finish, but I tweeted out about it. I don't know if you guys knew this. The movie The Departed, one of my favorites of all time, they have a record for the most expletives, the most times that the F word has been said in a movie per minute. I broke that record watching the race at Sunland. At first, it was lots of bad expletives, and then it was lots of oh my goodness expletives. So that was exciting.
It's never dull when I kick it to you. I could just sit here and listen to this all day. Yeah, no, the Sunland race was crazy as well. Yeah, and I didn't know this. I guess maybe this just announced. Jason Hummel saying the Steelers Bills have been postponed until Monday at 4:30. I'm guessing weather obviously playing a factor there, I guess. But that's no.
The governor just said it. Yeah. In a news conference that they're postponing it. Apparently they wanted to keep playing. The governor was like, this is stupid. Nobody's going to be safe if we do that.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I got a comment.
Okay.
On the NFL. Okay. It kind of goes along with this right here. Sandy and I, my wife, were talking about this last night. First of all, you have to consider the fans, don't you? They got to get to the game. How in the hell are you going to get to the game in a snowstorm?
Yeah,
and I'm sure that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at, and I think it's funny before I ever start this, but let's look at the games that they picked. Okay, you got Kansas City tonight.
Yeah.
It's the only night game, right?
Yeah.
Of the whole playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's 2 cities where you could have had bad weather out of these playoff games.
Yeah.
One is Kansas City and one is Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the rest of them, you got one in Tampa. Detroit has a dome.
Yep.
Houston. You got Dallas.
Yep, dome.
Yeah. So let's put the night game in Kansas City.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
the players, okay, who cares? But the fans.
Yeah.
So, people who have fought for these playoff tickets.
Yep.
And those of us that are living in this cold weather right now, yesterday in the daytime here in Joplin, it was unbearable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Us pansies like me. Think what it's going to be tonight in Kansas City. -3 is the temperature with wind chills, 25, 30 degrees.
So to your point, the first game today in the afternoon is in a dome, so they easily could have flipped it, and at least they play it at, during the day at Arrowhead. Number 2, Jared was talking about, I don't know if people watch Blinkers Off, Jared was talking about it. You can get a playoff ticket right now in the lower sections at Arrowhead. It was $70 on Thursday, and these things continue to drop. These are $400 or $500 playoff tickets. Yeah. You can get them for that price, and that kind of shows you right there. There's no more passionate fan base than Kansas City. Maybe Seattle. It's Kansas City and Seattle, 1-2, I would think. As far as people showing up to the games, making noise, filling the stadiums, that's what's happening in Kansas City. So, and look, I think the bottom line is you can't really blame these people. I wouldn't want to go in this weather.
It's dangerous.
It is. Yeah.
It's kind of dangerous to sit out in that weather.
Yeah.
If you're not properly dressed.
Mm-hmm. So
it's ridiculous. Why do they do this kind of stuff? When you have all of these other sites, you could have this game at night.
Yeah, exactly.
I know they want to put the Chiefs on at night. I get that for ratings. Then again, if you could flip this Buffalo game, why can't you change the Houston and Kansas City game?
Right. Exactly.
Right? When you saw this weather, which you knew this weather was going to be 3 days ago.
Yep. Yep.
I know it's an inconvenient for a lot of people to have to switch those games. I get that. But again, it should never have been scheduled in Kansas City in the first place.
Yep. No, it's crazy. It is crazy. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, cold weather and alcohol spells frostbite. Magic knows all about that. That's why he's only got 3 toes now. All right. And he's muted, so he can't defend him.
God darn it!
Okay, boys.
You'll never hear that gem that I had. You'll never hear it.
Well,
I don't know if the show can go on.
The thing about it is I'll hear about it at some point in time because we talk way too much. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the games that are going to be played today, including that frigid game. But first, the nice cozy dome in Houston will host Cleveland. Cleveland Browns -1.5. They are a favorite in the playoffs. That hasn't happened in years and years and years. Texans, obviously a great season under CJ Stroud. I think this is going to be a great way to kick off the playoffs. Total sits at 44.5. Papa Dude, I'll start with you. Who you like in this one?
The lines come down.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2.5, and now it's down to 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of money going on the Texans. We talked about this Thursday on our show. Cleveland deserves a ton of credit for a great season.
Mm-hmm.
Can this keep up? Can Flacco pull up another one? I don't know why not, but I'm going with the Texans at home. I'm kind of sentimental. I want them to win. I like watching them play, and I just think they're going to beat Cleveland today. I think the bubble's going to burst on old Joe today. So give me the Texans.
Yeah, I know you've been high on the Texans, and why
I'm
not?
not high on them, but
you've been
like them today.
You've been picking them for 3 days now. Is what
Yeah, I mean I'm high on them.
Yeah,
I was high on Dayton last night.
right, and they came through with an easy win. Magic, so many things have been set up for you here. I'm afraid to ask, but who do you like in this game?
I was about to start using my second hand to count how many times Papa Dude's talking about high. I'm like, all right, I know where his head's at on a Saturday in January. Listen, he thinks that the Texans are going to buzz the unibrow and maybe make him actually look somewhat decent like a human being. Speaking of the unibrow, I'm going to go with Joe Flacco over 0.5 interceptions thrown. You can get that about it's minus 148 on FanDuel, so that's the one spot I've seen, the one market I've seen where it's a little bit playable still. But last 5 games for Flacco, 8 interceptions. He's thrown at least one in every single game. Week 16 against the Houston Texans, he threw 2 picks, which really doesn't make sense if you remember how that game went, because Houston only had 7 points total going into the fourth quarter. Cleveland had 28. Somehow he still managed to throw 2 interceptions in a game where they've got a huge lead going on. And by the way, the quarterback he was facing, it wasn't CJ Stroud, it was Case Keenum, who threw 2 of his own picks, and then Davis Mills came in and kind of tried to save them a little bit. So now he's facing a Texans team that's at home with CJ Stroud. The crowd's fired up. That huge win that the Texans had last week to get here. I think that there's going to be a lot more offense from Houston, which means Cleveland has to throw it a lot more often, which means, unibrow, he's going to be. It's too hard to see the receivers when you've got such a giant long bush blocking your face like that, and I'm not going to touch that one. But Joe Flacco over 0.5 interceptions thrown. Anything minus 150 or under, I think, is playable. If you go over that, I think you need to parlay it here.
Okay, I'll do the Cleveland Browns here minus 1.5 in this game. I flip flop back and forth. And I'm like Papa Dude. I'm not high either way here, but I do think Cleveland will be able to stop Houston just enough to win, and that's my worry here. Rookie quarterback, obviously CJ Stroud's been tremendous, and all due respect to him, I just think the Cleveland front 7 will kind of get some pressure on him, give him some problems. I'm gonna take Cleveland minus 1.5 here. I think they'll slow them down just enough. All right, to the frozen tundra we go. Miami, a warm weather team at Kansas City, a cold weather team. 4.5-point favorites here for the Chiefs. Total sits at 43.5. Papa Dude, who you got?
Let's see, 43.5. I'm looking at that a lot.
Yeah.
Because in this kind of weather with the wind, I don't see a lot of points being put up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'd look at that total and go under, unless there's a bunch of turnovers, which could possibly be as well. Wisdom says there's no way Miami's going to play well in this weather.
Yeah.
I will say this, we said on our show too, Kansas City's not used to this weather either, because we've not had this kind of weather this winter at all. So this is new to them, but we've had 30s and 40s for a long time. I don't think it's been 30s and 40s in Miami. I do think the weather's going to be a big factor. It's always dicey when you take the Chiefs to cover, but I'm going to take them to cover. I don't think Miami's very good. So I'm taking Kansas City to cover the 4.5.
All right. Magic, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the under. There's one market, FanDuel, where I've seen you can already bet the second half under, and they're giving you under 21.5. First of all, we think if the weather, and it's a night game, so the weather will only get worse, it'll only get colder, the players are only going to slow down because that's just natural. But in Chiefs games this season, the average combined score in the second half is 14.9. When they're at Arrowhead, that dips to 13.8. All 9 home games for Kansas City have gone under the second half total. This to me is just screaming like nobody is aware they can bet it because only one market that I've seen, FanDuel, has it. It's minus 110 for under 21.5 for the second half total. I like the total game under 43.5, but definitely take advantage of that second half under now if you can, because when the first half is over, that's going to be like 18-17 at that point. And still playable, but definitely 21.5, 3 touchdowns, way too much.
Yeah. Yep. By the way, Magic, did you watch the first race at Gulfstream?
No, who won it?
The one wins by maybe just hit the wire. 6 links, I'd say. So don't question me ever again. Anyway.
Nicely done. That's why I don't play Gulfstream, buddy. Good job.
All right, we'll go. Well, yeah, we'll go on here. I'm going to take the Chiefs as well in this spot, Papa Dude. I think you're spot on. Look, and I get it. You watch the Chiefs all season long, and they do struggle to cover. They've lost games you wouldn't have thought they should have lost. But the whole point of this thing is the Miami Dolphins are a fraud, and they have been all year. And they've seen 2 teams have played each other, and the Chiefs beat them by 7 overseas. I think here in the cold, give me the Chiefs. So I'm going to go Kansas City to cover this one. I got to sneak one hockey game in before we go to the racing. The Avalanche are at Toronto today to take on the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs minus 115, total sitting at 6.5. Papa Dude, who do you like in this one?
Give me the Leafs. I think they get it done today, ready to go against Colorado on the road, not as potent as they are at home. Give me Toronto.
All right, Toronto for Papa Dude. Magic?
I think I'll take the under 6.5. To me, this is Toronto's not good at home. They're 5-14 on the puck line, and Colorado's equally, as you mentioned, Papa Dude, not great on the road. So this kind of feels like a game that'll be played kind of tight. I just don't see a lot of scoring in this one, so I'll take under 6.5.
All right, under 6.5 for Magic in this one. All right, let's go to the Pasco Stakes, guys. Race of the day today is going to go to Tampa Bay Downs, race number 9. Look, I mean, I think we've kind of documented it's kind of a rough day. I mean, there's not a ton going on, not a flashy day whatsoever. However, the Pasco Stakes is interesting. There's a couple of horses in here that are pretty interesting, I think. Magic, I'll let you kick it off since we're going to go racing here today. Like I said, race 9 here at Tampa. Field of 6 as the 4 have scratched. So who you like here?
This is a tough one, Ed, because I wanted to play the 7, but I wanted to play the 3, but I did. I'm backwards on this. I want to play the 5, and Gallardo ended up on the 7, so I'm going to play the 3. I don't like it's 3-2 morning line is like 2-5 when it goes off, but the horse won 3 straight, all by open lengths. 2 of those were stakes races. He's a New Jersey bred that was beating up on Open Company, and then went to Aqueduct in the Nashua Stakes in November, 1-turn mile race, and he ran really well, only lost by 3/4 of a length. But what was different that day is Jose Ortiz put him on the lead, kind of where he inherited it. That wasn't a good spot for him. He likes to be just off of it. And so if you 5 and the 7 end up going to the front early like they're kind of projected to do, the 3 can sit just behind him there. Should be good enough to get the job done based off his past races.
I just realized I did not pick the hockey game. I like the Avalanche. I'm with Tony. Give me
I was going to say that. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe you'd just quickly said it.
I was quickly looking to see what I thought this trifecta was going to pay because I hit it in the first race. So I just I was okay. 4-1 over 6-1 over 2-1. That's a good way to start for me personally, and for the premium products. Trying to calculate that, and I missed it. So Avalanche for me, Tony and I together. I think the Avalanche get it done. Okay, let's. Yeah, I did listen to what you were talking about there. Look, I think you're exactly right with the number 3 Bookham Dano. am I crazy to think? I think this horse is pretty good. Like, I know people are going to look at this like it's a Pasco. It's never really that great. I actually think the 3 Bookham Dano, I think he's a pretty good horse, and I totally agree with what Magic said. Kind of take him back just a bit, stock the pace just a little bit, and then go get him. So I like the number 3 Bookham Dano quite a bit in this spot today. Papa Dude, who you like?
Well, I'm a little afraid of the 7. I'm afraid he may get loose because I don't like the 5 with his speed. Although that one we don't know enough about. Only ran once, so we don't know if the speed's real or not. The 7 looks like he might have it. So I'm a little worried about him. And then it comes down between the 3. No one's mentioned the 1, West Saratoga. I think that horse is pretty sound too. But I'll make it a clean sweep and go with Bookham Dano, one of my favorite names.
All right, Bookham Dano. I like it. Yeah, I told Magic, I told Jared, I said, I'm pretty sure if, Dan Wade, our buddy, if him and I were out drinking, I probably would say Bookham Dano a few times. And Jared said, I'm pretty sure you did last time we hung out with him. Yeah, makes sense. Listen, I read that this is a prep for the Saudi Derby for Bookham Dano. I read that this morning on the Daily Racing Form. I'm not sure. I mean, that's pretty ambitious, but I do think he's decent. So we'll kind of see how that goes. So, all right, let's move on to the best bets here today, guys. We'll start with Magic. Go ahead. Who you like?
All right, let's try this again. So thankful, by the way, that at the last second, I texted Aaron yesterday and said, you know what, I don't feel so great about that Laurel Park race that I was going to have as a best bet. Let's go to Delta Downs. That horse won at 5-2. The Laurel Park horse, I think, is still rounding the far turn, so not a good effort. I'm going to try and back things up here. I'm still 6-2 with best bets at Laurel Park, so hopefully I can get this going. Race 5, number 2, Dalinar, which now with scratches is drawn the rail. Even better, this is a pure speed horse, now breaking from the rail. 3 starts, he's got 2 seconds. First of all, debuted in an allowance race facing winners and ran a good second. Copper Tax beat him by 8 lengths. Copper Tax went off and became a stakes horse. Last time out, dueled really hard with a really good Brittany Russell horse named Prado Road. Prado Road ended up dusting him by 7 lengths after that duel. But there's no one that's going to duel him with him in here, and if they do, it's going to be detrimental to the horse that ends up dueling, because I think Dalinar is just the experience that he has, the speed advantage he has, and now on the rail in the mud at Laurel, I think it all sets up for him. So 2-1 morning line, probably going to be 6-5 even, maybe even a little lower, but I do feel quite confident in this horse.
All right, I like it as well. I have this horse on top as well, just like Koufax last night. So maybe that's a good sign for this one today too. We usually think I shouldn't say we usually think alike, but we usually on these ones where we're extremely confident we're on the same. So, all right, Laurel Park, race 5, number 2 for Magic. Quit laughing, Magic. All right, I'm going to go to Gulfstream Park.
I'm laughing because of how bad, Aaron and I were talking about Gulfstream Race 1 before the show started, and I was like, how come you didn't like this horse? He's like, well, I like this horse instead. And the horse that he liked more won at a nice price and paid, by the way, $113.50 or $113.80 for $1 on that try. So get those premium products. It pays for itself in one race.
Well, I was going to say, if you want best bets, right now, Magic is the place to go for horse racing, not myself. My best bets, horrible. My other wagers outside of all the best bets, fantastic. So premium products, me. Horse racing, best bets, Magic. And then sports best bets, Papa Dude. We've got you covered on the show. All right, I'll go Gulfstream Park, race 4. I'll get done very quickly because we're all waiting for Papa Dude. I'm going to go Gulfstream Park, race 4, the number 3, Admiral Hopper, on top in this one. Getting back to the synthetic surface today. I like that quite a bit. Had an allowance win, had 2 allowance wins actually on the synthetic surface last year. Now, the problem is long layoff. I get that. But Safi Joseph is very good off layoffs. There's some trainers where you see a layoff and you go, that's not great. When you see Safi, Chad Brown, Todd Pletcher, it doesn't really bother me quite as bit. We're also getting a lot of class relief today. And listen, I think 25K level, it's a drop, but it's not a drop to the very bottom and get rid of the horse. To me, it's just kind of we're going to get a logical spot here. If we win, great. If the horse gets claimed, that's fine too. It's 25K. We're in good shape with this one. So I really like the 3 Admiral Hopper in this spot. I think she's going to get the job done today. All right, Papa Dude, let's get to yours.
All right. Kevin's going to be happy. First of all, Kevin, I've been reading the chat here. Your wedding date is Belmont Stakes Day.
Wow.
Now, Kevin, you better get control of some things because you're losing out big time. There are 9 million days you can get married.
Well, 365. Not 9 million.
365. Okay. That's close to 9 million.
It's close.
Now, I don't know the situation. I don't know whether that's the only day your future wife can pick for some stupid ass reason that I don't know. But you're starting off on the wrong foot. You tell your future wife, honey, let me tell you something. I got a horse racing problem. She probably already knows it. But we ain't getting married on Belmont Stakes Day. I don't give a shit. I haven't seen your wife. Okay? Wait a minute, Kevin. You met on that date 5 years ago. Big shit. Okay, that's another problem you got right there. If she's already worried about when you meet, and it was 5 years ago, so you have to get married on that day?
Wait, hold on.
Issues, Kevin. Issues.
Can you comment on this? He said they booked this 2 years ago.
That's even stupider. Why do you book a wedding 2 years? Okay, here's another thing.
Well, 2 years ago, they didn't think that they could be. They thought they could be at Saratoga at the track, and no one was going to bother him there, and he got screwed up by it.
Change it. Well, unbook it. Unbook the damn thing. I'm just warning you. I'm warning you. I'm warning you, Kevin.
Okay. Well, how about Bowling Green -1 today?
Now, this is a lot more important. A lot more. For your future.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, I've told you. I've told you. I've warned you. If you want to text me, no, don't text me. I don't give you my phone number. But if you want to follow me on Twitter and message me for more advice, she better respond well, Kevin.
Yeah.
See, I told Sandy when we got married,
right,
that she didn't listen, that you don't bother me on Saturdays in the fall.
Right. Yeah.
It's college football day. I have an addiction, and it's a good addiction. Mm-hmm. I'm not addicted to anything else, but I am addicted to OU football. So you don't schedule anything. You can schedule it, but I ain't going to be there. It takes an act of God to get me away from that, or if they're bad. That's the difference. All right, back to the best. Now, actually, my best, the one I liked the best today, tipped off at 11, and that was Tennessee and Georgia. Tennessee's 7.5-point favorite. I love Georgia in this game. Georgia is playing extremely well. They don't get any recognition because they're not known as a basketball school. So I have a bunch of them. Tony said yesterday, I think. I hope you have a bunch today. I do. I overslept this morning because it's so cold here and the bed was so warm and I'm so old, I didn't want to get up. So I'm still posting my best bets on the website, and there's going to be a bunch of them. I already got 5 or 6 of them down. I'll get the rest when I get off of here. I'm going with, yes, an obscure bet. Bowling Green, -1. They've been blowing out most teams in the MAC, and they're on the road today against a 6-9 Northern Illinois team.
Nice.
That's struggling. Now, this could be a fishy line. I don't know where this -1's coming from. I watched Bowling Green because I picked them the other night. They killed this team the other night. I don't know where this -1's coming. I feel great about this one. Give me the Falcons over the Huskies. They're going to come down, as Magic says, and peck their eyes out and beat the Huskies today.
All right. Well, there you go. We got a lot of information there, and hopefully Kevin uses that to his advantage in some ways. So Bowling Green -1 here for Papa Dude. All right, let's put the best bets up on the screen now. I'm going to go Gulfstream Park Race 4, number 3, Admiral Hopper. Magic's going Laurel Park Race 5. Dalinar Is that how you
Dalinar.
Dalinar, number 2, Dalinar, and then Papa Dude Dome Bowling Green -1. We are 3, 2, and 1 for the week, up $270 for the week, up $600 for the year. So doing very well, very good start, and thanks in large part to Magic yesterday getting that $260 for us to kind of get that up. All right, Papa Dude, any final thoughts before we exit today?
No. I've got to get ready. I got doubleheader basketball in Joplin, Missouri today.
Who are we playing today? I don't even know.
Nebraska Kearney. Another huge game.
Are they pretty good?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
The women are.
Okay. Magic.
I mean, they're Nebraska women. We can have a debate off air about how good they really are, but
it's okay, we got to go. I was going to ask you what you're doing, but we got to go. All right, so we're got a lot going on today. Football playoffs. We got a full slate of basketball. All hockey teams, all 32 hockey teams are playing today. So if you like hockey, you get that as well. I know it's crazy. You got that as well. And then racing, we've, they are running races at places. We'll see what happens today at some of the venues around the country. Not a lot of big races, but we could still make a little bit of money, as was shown with the first race today at Gulfstream. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.